Hey, Dr. G here. I want to talk about the first environmental factor that is critically important for optimal functioning and great energy in your body, and that is light. Evolutionary biology and biophysics has found the mechanisms why humans lost their fur, and that was to expose our skin and also our eyes like solar panels to the sun. You see, multiple chemical reactions occur because specific molecules are activated or inactivated by light energies. This includes hormones like melatonin, estrogen, testosterone, adrenaline, cortisol, insulin, and vitamins like vitamin D, and neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. Without going into the deep biophysics or the recent scientific discoveries, we can use this information right now and put it to use to affect our health right now. That's because research is confirming that what happens automatically in nature is what we need. And that's before mankind changed everything by changing our light. The Environmental Protection Agency has reported that the average American spends 93% of their time indoors, 6% in cars, and 87% in buildings. That leaves 7% of the time we're outside and we're probably covered up. We're wearing sunscreen, we're wearing sunglasses, hats, gloves, or it's night. So we're hardly ever in the sun anymore. Now just imagine you had a house that was run by solar panels on the roof and you covered them up with a coat. You would get no power to the house. The food in the refrigerator would rot and there'd be no air conditioning or heat. You wouldn't have any TV. You'd have no lights. Without power, things shut down. And that's exactly what happens to a human that stays indoors and covers up from the sun and always wears sunglasses and slathers on the sunscreen. The sun has a major effect on our health, and it's critically important for optimal health. The specifics here will vary for each individual. It depends on your genetics, how far from the equator you live, the elevation that you live, your skin color, and other factors like your climate and population density. Big cities have a lot of air pollution, and so we don't get the sun through the shade of the air pollution. New research has shown that energy flows in life are controlled by internal clocks in our brain and all other tissues. These clocks control the 100,000 chemical reactions that occur every second in each of our 37 trillion cells. These reactions are coordinated by the internal clocks. Now, the clocks for life are set to the day and night cycles of the earth, and that makes sense because that's where everything evolved, and that's where we live. So if you want your energy flow to be optimal, you need to get your clocks, which gets the chemical reactions working in synchrony. Deep research discoveries in circadian biology show that early morning light in the eye sets the master clock, which lies in the brain in the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This is caused by visible light frequencies from the sun exciting molecules in our retina that signal the brain to set the clock. This should be a key component of addressing your environment. That is, you want to get your eyes exposed to the rising sun. At this time of day, your eyes are very sensitive to sunlight, as long as you don't blast them with fake light first. So it doesn't take that much to get the effect. I personally try to spend 5 minutes facing the sun every morning. I do this even if it's cloudy because some of the light still penetrates. Sun in the eyes later in the day when UVA light is present is also important. Now UVA light comes out early in the summer, like around 8 a.m., and in the winter it may come out later, like 10 or 11 a.m., depending on the latitude. UVA light activates precursor molecules to stimulate the production of melatonin and dopamine in the retina of the eye. Melatonin, you probably know, is a sleep and antioxidant hormone. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter that makes us feel good. It makes us smarter, and we make better decisions when dopamine levels are optimal. Sun on the skin is also important, and it's important to get the UVB light on the skin, which is more of a midday frequency, again, depending on the season and the latitude. There are big areas of the planet that have a vitamin D winter, where there's no UVB present in the winter. Now, this frequency causes the formation of vitamin D. Recent studies show that taking vitamin D pills don't appear to have a positive impact on health conditions. This was seen in a couple of meta-analyses. Studies do show, however, that low vitamin D levels are one of the biggest markers or health risk factors for diseases, many diseases like osteoporosis, heart attacks, cancer, depression, autoimmune diseases, and obesity. There are free apps for your cell phone like the D-Minder, and this app will tell you what time of day UVB is present at your location. Another aspect of natural sunlight is that sunlight is absorbed by water in our cells. Did you know that 99% of the molecules in the human body are water? When sunlight is absorbed by water, the water is charge separated, which causes the water to store energy like a battery. This is a battery that gives us free energy for all kinds of duties within the body so that we can stay healthy. So just by getting in the sun on a regular basis, you can greatly improve your energy and your cellular energy. It is important not to burn yourself. It generally takes 4 or 5 weeks of gradually increasing sun exposure for your skin to make adaptations so it can absorb more sunlight, and it does this by creating melanin, which absorbs light and uses that light for energy, and that's the molecule that makes us tan. And also our skin thickens to make us more sun tolerant, and that's typically what happens when we're outdoors in the springtime. Nature does it right. The springtime sun gradually intensifies, so when summer comes, we're ready for it. We have thick, tough, tan skin. But the modern person is indoors and they're using sunscreen. So they go out in the sun and they get burned, and that damages our skin. So when you've had enough sun, well, first you need to be careful because we're not adapted to the sun. When you've had enough sun, go in the shade, cover up, or use a non-toxic sunscreen. Now, I don't like sunscreens, especially the ones that absorb into your skin. Some of the studies show that they accelerate aging and wrinkles. I like the ones that stay on the surface to reflect the sun. This is Dr. G. Thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel.